Hello everyone, Nolan West here. The end of COVID really is in sight. With the nonstop pessimism that has completely pervaded everyday life, I thought I'd share some incredibly good news. And that news is we have 3 COVID vaccines on the horizon. And they could start being administered to healthcare workers by the end of the year, which is way ahead of schedule. And for all the hate that people love to throw the way of the American pharmaceutical industry, and a lot of that is well deserved, they can do some incredible things when we take the barriers out of their way and let them just get the job done. So Pfizer on Friday applied for emergency approval of their vaccine, and Pfizer has been working with BioNTech, a German company, and they conducted a final efficacy analysis of their vaccine for the ongoing trial, which found a 95% efficacy rate. 95%. That is huge. That is higher than the measles vaccine and the mumps vaccine, which those have a vaccine efficacy rate of 93% and 78% respectively. Not to mention that, like the flu vaccine, has efficacy rate generally under 50%. This is a really big deal. And what makes this all more amazing is that we've never developed a vaccine for any coronavirus, not just COVID-19. And in their trial, they had 43,661 patients. That's a big trial. And in that group, they had 162 cases of COVID-19 in the placebo group and 8 in their vaccine group. 8. It's crazy good. And then Moderna, another company, also has applied for emergency approval of another COVID-19 vaccine, and it has an efficacy rate of 94.5%. And their trial had over 30,000 participants with 90 cases in the placebo group and only 5 in the vaccine group, which is incredible news. There's also a third vaccine, and this vaccine was announced today, this morning actually, from AstraZeneca, or Zeneca, I don't know. And in conjunction with Oxford University in the UK. And they had a trial of 20,000 participants with 101 cases in the placebo group and 30 cases in the vaccine group. And that's an efficacy rate of 70%, which is pretty good, as I mentioned, compared to the other vaccines, but not nearly as good as the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine. However, this vaccine is significantly less difficult to produce, which will be a big deal because this is a global pandemic. And we're going to have to make billions and billions of these vaccines. So to get it out to the world, an easier one is a lot better than none at all. So this is all pretty insane news. Conventional wisdom was that a vaccine would have to wait until at the end of next year, at the earliest. I heard that over and over. The rate at which we've produced these vaccines is absolutely astonishing. And this will be a big win for our healthcare workers in particular. Right now, here in Minnesota, we're having an ICU bed crisis. There's a shortage of beds, but it's not just a shortage of beds. We have the beds. We prepared for this for a while. It's that the nurses and doctors working are all coming down with COVID, which is knocking them out. You know, they got to quarantine and such. And there just isn't enough healthcare workers to take care of the number of patients coming in. And that's a very dangerous situation. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have COVID or not. If you need a doctor's attention and there's no room, a lot of people are going to go uncared for if we keep going the way this has been going. And that's a big problem. So these vaccines around the corner is incredibly timely, especially just so our healthcare workers can help rather than be quarantined. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and this dystopian nightmare will be coming to an end soon. In the meantime, we just have to ensure our hospitals don't get overwhelmed, which with a vaccine, that'll be a lot easier. So please share this with your friends and family. We need to make sure people know some good news. There is a light at the end of the tunnel where most of the time you just hear every single day that the world is ending and we're all going to die. So let's make sure people can get something uplifting. And thanks for listening, and see you next time.